Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. Jay Croucher, Matthew Berry, and fantasy football and NFL legend Saquon Barkley joining us now. Saquon, welcome, man. It's a thrill. We were just talking. I believe I was one of your first pro interviews because I interviewed you at the NFLPA Rookie Premiere 6 years ago. Yep. Since that time, you've had an unbelievable run in the NFL as well and done 8 billion interviews, probably all better than that one. Hopefully we improve on it today.
I wouldn't say all better, but yeah, 6 years ago, time is flying, and yeah, I'm just happy to be here today.
Okay, so Saquon, it's your birthday tomorrow, I'm told.
Okay.
We did some reconnaissance. Any big plans for tomorrow? You sticking around in Vegas?
Yeah, family's here. My lady, my kids are here. Mom, dad, brother, sister, everybody's here. So probably get some dinner, and it's Vegas, so probably step out, right?
Okay, I like it.
When you step out, Saquon, I want to ask you about this very quickly because, listen, everyone knows you are a consummate teammate. You were at Penn State, this is how you were known. With the Giants, you're known. Everyone loves Saquon. You're a great teammate. When you step out in Vegas with your boys, with your wolf pack, with your teammates, if you will, do you ever leave a man behind?
No, that's the problem. We're like 20 deep. And that means we're like 20 people, brothers, sisters, friends from high school, college. So yeah, I don't go into parties or I don't go into anything unless I get everybody in. It's a lot of finessing to get done.
Well, that's the right way to do it. That's the right attitude, and that's why I think people love you, why you're considered such a good teammate.
There was an incident last night where we may have left Matthew behind.
This one is not. This is the anti-Saquon right here.
That's rule number one. You can't leave your brother behind. You can't do that.
It's selfish, wouldn't you say?
You know what? Now that I know the little backstory of it, I'm not going to sit here and say that.
I will. I've said it already.
Let's say I wouldn't. That's not something that I would do.
That's right.
It's either
we're all in. Character.
Man, yeah, you messed up, boss. I'm not gonna lie, you messed up.
Just
you messed
saying.
up.
Well,
if
there was a teammate that you weren't going to leave behind, who would you want to bring to Vegas out of your teammates? So we had Jalen Hyatt, and he said he would bring you.
Oh yeah, Jalen's my guy. We was actually on the same flight. If I have a teammate, he's not here. Sterling Shepard. We always celebrate. I'm a little mad at him right now. Like I gotta call him. We always celebrate our birthdays together, and this is gonna be our first year in a couple years of not celebrating together. His birthday's on the 10th.
Okay.
Saquon, I'm curious. So last year, obviously, season didn't go the way the Giants had hoped, obviously, but there were definitely some real highlights. And I just got to ask you, like, I don't think I've ever seen, like, the kind of Tommy Cutlets mania around DeVito. What was that like, during that kind of month-long stretch?
It was super fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was super fun. Obviously, we were winning games.
Yep.
But it was just fun to see. You had a kid that's from New Jersey living home with his mom and the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a book, a documentary, like all that in one. So it was fun to be a part of, and I just loved how poised he was to the whole thing. A lot of respect for that. I talk like he's some 21-year-old rookie. He's 25. I'm turning 27, right. But he handled himself so great. You could see the craze that happened, but every single day he was the same person. Every single day he was the same person, and he also got time to enjoy it too. So I was happy. It was a great thing for the team. It got us sparked, got us back in the playoff conversation. Obviously it didn't go the way we would like, but and it showed, man. It showed. He's an undrafted kid, and he got some talent to him. He could ball.
Yeah. I thought the Monday Night Football game in particular against the Packers, where, I mean, he effectively outdueled Jordan Love, who almost took down the Niners.
He saved my butt.
I remember that.
Yeah, he saved my butt. I tell you that. I had one of the craziest plays ever happened.
That was bizarre, right?
Yeah, it was bizarre. But, hey, it's a team game, man. We had a 2-minute drive, and he put it on the dot, and we went down and kicked the game-winning field goal.
Yep, got it done. So,
do you hear that, Jay? It's a team game.
Yeah, it is a team game. Yeah. Yes, and Tommy DeVito didn't leave Saquon Barkley behind.
It's going to be a rough, long week for you.
Well,
it's not a great start.
Well, there's 24 hours left. So we are a fantasy football show, Saquon. Obviously, your production lends itself extremely well to fantasy football. You're a superstar in that space. People come up to you.
Can you guys break down the fantasies? I don't like how the points.
It's very simple. You draft NFL players, and how well those NFL players do statistically for the Giants in the NFL is how well they do for your fantasy team. So if I have Saquon Barkley and you go, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, you get 6 points for a touchdown. There's 12 points. You scored 2 touchdowns, and you get 1 point every 10 yards. So that would be 22 points, if that makes. Yeah. But without getting into nerding out on the scoring, in essence, how well you do statistically is how well our fantasy teams do.
Yeah.
So somebody like yourself who runs for a lot of yards, who catches a lot of balls, who scores a lot of touchdowns, obviously, you're a very high draft pick and have been since you came into the league. I mean, a lot of times rookies come in the league and we're like, oh, let's see what happens here. But everyone knew coming out of Penn State, you were going to be productive from moment one, and you've been a first-round pick in fantasy every year of your career, and you will be next year as well.
Yeah, thank you. I do know that there's a lot of passion behind fantasy football, whether it's good or bad when it comes to fans. But I think it's fun. I think it's a fun, unique way to get fans involved. It's not like you're just following a team, right? So if you draft me, you draft such and such, such and such. It's like it's a reason for you to lock in on that Thursday night or that Sunday or Monday night, and give someone get a chance to root for, and you want to beat your fellow partners in your league, right? It's like a league in your tournament. So I like it. I think it's fun. I think some fans actually think we have a lot of control over that. It's the NFL. Some of the messages and mentions you get, like I said, I think it's creative, and I love it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Listen, I'll say that I think there's probably 10% of Giants fans that are like, they cross the line and like, what are you doing? And there's 10% of fantasy players that are morons and reach out to players and say stuff that they shouldn't have. And so I apologize for all those jerks, but I think for the most part, here's what I would bet. Anyone that comes up to you in person and mentions fantasy football is filled with love for you. That would be my guess. It's all just online.
That's how I look at it. I look at everything like that because I'm very active on social media. You see everything. But there's so much more love than negativity, and why would I focus on the negative stuff when there's so much love and positive stuff? So, but even like the negative stuff, I think it's funny. It's real funny, but it's fun. You can see it. Like you can see some of these fans are like really passionate about it, and it's a unique way to get them involved in the game. So I'm all for that.
Well, yeah, they're insanely passionate about it. It's why I have a career, and candidly, and the other thing is to your point, right? Like, so I'm a diehard Washington Commanders fan, by the way, and by the way, screw you for constantly beating us up. I desperately wish you were out of the division. But my point is that even as a Commanders fan, I'm a Saquon Barkley fan because I've had you on my fantasy teams for years. And so what it does is, obviously, Giants fans are always going to root for you, but you'll have guys that root for the Cowboys or the Eagles or any team in the NFL, but they're still Saquon Barkley fans because they've drafted you to the team, they're buying your jersey, they're watching you on Sunday and rooting for you to have productive games. So, I think it expands the fan base of all the players as well.
For sure, yeah, definitely. Like I said, all for it. All for that.
Yep. So, Saquon, excited to learn about your partnership with Silk Brand. I'm a newly vegetarian. There's been some mishaps in Las Vegas, to be fair, but newly vegetarian. Can you tell us about your partnership with Silk Brand?
Yeah, it's all about, putting the right things in your body. As an athlete, you try your best to stay fit and strong year-round. And when you think of football players, you think of lots of meat, heavy carbs, but it's about putting the right things, the right nutrients in your bodies, and also being delicious. And that's where it started with the Silk Feel Plenty Good Challenge, starting your day off with a smoothie, the tofu touchdown. And I participated in it. I could feel an actual difference in my body. And I love that. I love that was a challenge. It was a way people can compete, challenge themselves to improve, and also put the right things in your body that tastes great. So I'm just happy to be part of with Silk, and it's been fun.
Cool.
Saquon, last question for you before we let you go, and congratulations on that, and good luck with that next season. Is there somebody on the Giants, like we know the stars, right? We know the quarterbacks, we know you, we know Sterling. Is there somebody on the Giants that hasn't gotten a lot of publicity, but that you've seen in practice that should be on our radar for next year, that you think is kind of a star in the waiting?
I think Jaylen's poised for a big year.
Yeah?
A really big year. He's super fast. He can run routes. He can take the top of the defense. And what Calf and Dave's like to do, I think he's poised for a really big year, and that's my opinion. Obviously, I think he played great last year. Probably wanted to do a lot more. He's a really passionate kid, hard worker too. But yeah, I think he's poised for a really big year.
Yeah, we talked to him yesterday, and he talked about the fact that he'd always played slot at Tennessee, and then he comes to the Giants, and just because of the personnel you guys had, he had to play a lot more outside, but he thinks that he's going to get to play a lot more slot this year, which would be great for him, and obviously then just having more comfort on the outside after a year should certainly help him as well, because we know the talent as well. Listen, Saquon, congratulations on all your success so far in the NFL, in fantasy, in business. Continued success for you next year, my friend. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. You
Thanks,
gotta get him a drink or something. You gotta make up for it.
I mean, from Saquon's lips, I'm just saying.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.